watch out, that your skin can bring you so much pain. Now I hear you say, you got the best of both ways. Won't you come and take a walk in my shoes and tell me if you take my place? Undercover of my skin, I've heard all your names. If it's all the same, I'll keep on walking. Undercover of my skin, I've heard all your names. If it's all the same, I'll keep on walking.
Welcome to the Inside Running Podcast, Shoe Geeks edition for October 2022. I'm joined by my co-host here, Julian, at work at Geelong at the running company. How you going, mate?
I'm good. I'm busy. I'm looking at Tom. I can hear the summer breeze blowing in the background. He's wearing a t-shirt. Oh yeah, on the balcony, of course.
Yeah. Look, Tommy is. Tommy. Forever on holiday, aren't you, mate? Like, I think things are going pretty well for you over there.
No, I haven't had a holiday in a while, mate. So I just left the kids, my wife, and my in-laws in the pool downstairs. Much to my wife's disgust. We just got here. I'm like, I got to go talk about shoes. Sorry, I'll be back. I'll be back in a bit.
Pay the bills.
Yeah.
Pay the bills, Tommy.
I'm sure she'll survive by the pool.
I'm sure she'll survive.
Look, and what shoes have you taken with you, Tommy? What do you? Because you're all running. We're all running about 80, 90 k's a week at the moment. Are you going to get a big weekend?
Nah, just it might be similar. It might be like around 80k. I'm sitting at roughly at the moment. I just took my Kano lights, and I actually took. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm going to use them, but I brought the Streak Fly.
Yeah, interesting. Local park run.
So, no, because so I'm on Magnetic Island just off Townsville, but there's no ferry. Like, if I want to get a ferry back to Townsville to do a park run, there is no option anyway. So, I'll just run around here. I'll find some trails. There's actually some all right trails. So, I'll take my Kano light on trails, a bit of road trail, because to get to them, it's a bit of road anyway. So, nothing
pretty
too technical.
steep, isn't it?
Yeah, there's some little hills. No, nothing like huge, but yeah, there's little bumps around the island. So yeah, there's some good spots to run actually. It's not bad, not too bad. But yeah, so good. Kano lights, and I don't know if I'll use the other ones, but we'll see.
So
what have
Julian,
you been wearing? Oh, well, I was just going to ask, what have you been wearing this last? It's been about a month now. So you put any new shoes on, Tom? Any highlights?
Yeah, so I've been putting a bit of K's in that Saucony shoe, the Tempest.
Oh yeah.
You said you sell that, don't you? Yeah,
we sell it.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know if I said on the last pod, but I kind of feel like it's a shoe that I sort of wanted the Invincible to be. It's still it's just it's got that soft, fun foam in it, but it's just so much more stable than the Invincible.
So where do you put it in the line? So you've got the Triumph, you've got the Guide, you've got the Ride, you've got now the Pro, you've got the Shift, you've got the Speed. Where does the Tempest sit?
That's a Julian question, I reckon.
Yeah, it's still a support shoe. So we still use it as a support shoe. A little bit different to how Tom thinks of it, because there's a pretty solid medial post. I will call it a post, but it might not be a traditional style post. But through the guts of the medial side, there's a lot of firmer foam around, inserted into the shoe, and it's surrounded by really soft foam. So a lot of people do notice that firmness under their arch. And it can help stabilize the foot, no doubt.
Are there any other TPU versions of shoes that have had a posting in it before? Can you think of? Because the Triumph 20 has been I have not heard a bad review of how fun that shoe is to run in. Bar one. The TPU foam's fun, but I think it's the first stable TPU daily trainer.
I thought this was Peber,
isn't it? Yeah, I think this one's
Oh, it's a Peber, is it? Oh, there you go. It's a winner.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had TPU foams like from Adidas exactly. But this is different.
So this one kind of reminds me of, like, I've got it here, my wife's shoe.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the same sort of idea where they're trying to make a daily trainer with performance foam, but they got the carrier foam to cradle it. So this is the Boston 10 from Adidas. And they've done a similar thing. So they've got the light strike, which is that lighter colored one, and then superficial, closer to the foot, they're using the Light Strike Pro.
Yeah.
And so I actually just, when I saw Lana the other week running, I'm like, oh, that's right. That's it's not new. Like, there's been other models that are doing this with cradling the softer foam with a slightly less performance oriented foam, but I think still getting the benefits of that performance foam without it being unstable, which is the place. I think I said to you guys recently, like, I've been having a lot of runners in with issues, and I think related partly to using super shoes for long runs. So they're using racing shoes for their long runs, and we can do that because it's so forgiving. You can never do a long run in a racing flat like pre-2017. You wouldn't even think about doing it. But because they're so soft and fun to run in, like, and I get tempted to run in them long runs sometimes as well. But I think the side effects sneak up on you a little bit more gradually than traditionally with racing flats. It initially might feel good, but
what are those side effects, Tommy?
Well, I'm seeing ankle. I'm seeing a fair bit of ankle stuff. So
medial, lateral.
Medial and lateral, mostly medial. So tib post, medial shin stuff. So when you're on a high stack shoe on a soft foam, it just challenges the frontal plane, so it can increase that side to side movement. And so the tendons, I sort of describe them as the stirrup muscle tendons. So they're the peroneals and tib post. They go either side of the lower leg, and they stabilize that side to side movement. So the peroneals or tib post, I think, are challenged more in those shoes, particularly on if people take them out on like any uneven terrain, but even long runs, just for a long run, the duration.
It's funny you say that, Tommy. We jogged in Centennial Park on Sunday, and I've never seen more Sunday morning jogging super shoes in a park in my life. Yeah. We don't see that in Adelaide, so look, maybe that's good for you guys, good for you then. So, but Centennial Park was no opener. I would have saw Vaporfly, Alphafly, a lot of Saucony endorphin range as jogging on a Sunday morning between 4:30s to 6-minute K pace.
Yeah, perhaps the retail environment though too is like, because there's a difference. If someone came in to purchase a super shoe for jogging into our store, or perhaps maybe into like a specialty store that cared, there would be a pretty deep conversation with a few caveats and warnings, almost trying to convince them out of it. Whereas perhaps you walk into stores in Sydney and you can just purchase super shoes like it ain't no thing, and no one's helping you, and they're not asking questions. It's like 1 size 9, please, and then it's being handed over.
Do you think we're getting a few more people into recreational running just for the enjoyment of the shoe itself? Do you think they'd be running without the shoe?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay.
I think the shoe's a temptation. It's a sweetness. It's like eating your dessert before your main meal, though.
I like that. That's good. Good, nice one.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So,
but that's it. You've been running the Tempest. What about workouts? You've been doing a few now.
I wore an undisclosed Mizuno shoe the last session I did, which we will review at some point, no doubt.
Yeah.
What have I done? Yeah, just going back to some Vaporflies. I really want to get back to spikes at some point, but I just know I won't tolerate them at this point in time.
Is that why you ducked me on Saturday night? Is that why you're ducking me on Saturday night? I came all the way to Sydney, Julian, to race Tom over 3K, and you didn't show.
Yeah, that's soft by him.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Sorry, I did a session. I did my first session at Centennial for months, and so that was.
Yeah.
Sorry, I ditched you for that.
Actually, at the 3K champs, it's like 9 dragonflies to one other spike now, and even amongst like the H race all the way through to the A race, it's quite extraordinary.
So just spikes in the lower grades?
Yeah, spikes in the lower grade. You definitely see more super shoes in the lower grades, but you still see plenty of dragonflies as well in the lower grades. So, absolutely. Especially on a track like ES Marks, it's been just relayed. It's actually really soft and it's spike friendly. It's a good track for longer distance races for sure. I saw a couple of the Adidas, the Avanti TYO, and a few more of. There's still a few traditional spikes out there. You see every now and then someone wearing like a Rival D from Nike or a Cosmo Racer sort of thing as well in the junior rakes. But it's all super shoes and dragonflies now, and maybe one Air Victory between 10 dragonflies or thereabouts. Yep.
Wonder if it was a mileless race, if that would change, like a 1500.
Yeah, I think so. Look, this is the first time I've worn the Air Vic for longer than a 1500, and it felt fantastic for the 3K still as well. So it feels a bit clumsier at slower paces, but I think when you're in a race, I'd probably wear that for 5K as well.
Yeah. And what else have you been jogging in?
I've been pretty consistent. I've got a pretty consistent routine, like all my jogging, because we're back at doing workouts Tuesdays and Fridays now. I've been wearing a lot of high stack shoes on my easy days, being the Wednesday and the Saturdays after my workouts on the Tuesdays and Fridays. So I've been cycling between 3 shoes on those days, which has been the New Balance Supercomp trainer still. I've got a second pair of them. I've actually got another pair that I've kept just for the trails. It's split the carbon though on my right foot, so it's time to go for that one. And
it's what? Sorry, go on.
The carbon split in the forefoot.
Oh, it's
wait. Yep. Yeah, just split.
Snapped in half.
Yeah, well, like it's fissured. It's fissured about 20% through it.
Lengthwise?
Nah. Yeah, like lengthwise, not split widthwise, lengthwise.
What's that from? What do you attribute that?
I'm assuming I've hit a rock and I had maybe I started a fissure and I've just kept running on it, and so it's just followed the line a bit.
Maybe that shoe's not made for trail.
Yeah, look, I don't feel the difference wearing it with the split. It feels fine. So it's aesthetic to me at the moment. It still functions well.
It's funny because the Saucony Exodus has flexibility in that frontal plane. So it's designed, the plate's designed to contort medial to lateral to be more agile around rocks and tree roots and cambers.
Is that carbon or is it?
Oh, no, that's not the Exodus. Sorry, I've got the wrong shoe. It's the Endorphin Edge, it's called.
Oh, yep. Okay. Yep.
It's a carbon plate. Yeah.
It is a carbon plate.
Reese wore that at UTA. He told me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, right. Did he like it?
He liked it. He reckons he wore the Speed Goat, just trialing some trail shoes because he obviously hasn't. I don't think he's done that much trail. He's mostly road, so he hated the Speed Goat. So he was trying to find something else, and he thinks that one just feels like a heavier Endorphin Pro kind of deal, like a heavier. I guess that same sort of bounce, but a bit heavier.
Is it similar stack? Like, is it out towards 35, 40 mils?
Yeah, it's pretty high. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah,
it'd be up there. It'd be about that 35 to 40 for sure. Yeah.
Still been using the Ultra Vanish Tempo on my days that I've been feeling like my second long run for the week's on Thursday, and that's usually like combination roads, a bit of via track. That's been a brilliant shoe still. It just makes, it's probably one of those shoes that improve your economy a couple percent. So it just feels easier on those longer days. Just that nitrogen infused foam probably is a bit more forgiving when the pace. Well, it definitely is more enjoyable when the pace is a bit higher, and that's my Thursday run. So workouts, I've just been consistently wearing the New Balance RC Elite 2. I can put it on the track. I can put it on the road. I can put it on our Uniloop, which is sort of like crushed dirt. And I find that the most comfortable training racing, the most comfortable training flat I have at the moment, including the Vaporfly, Alphafly. And look, it's a little bit lower to the ground than those. I think that's been useful going to the track as well, just a little bit. And I did one workout the other week where I wore back in the Takumi 8s. And while that's a bit more than the old Takumis, I still battle with repeats below 400 in that shoe without getting slightly sore calves. So that's still a telltale sign I'm a bit soft. But I pulled up well from the Air Vix. But that's been a consistent rotation for about a month and a half now, and haven't really deviated from it.
The SC Elite dropped yesterday, basically, and the V3. So they've gone. So New Balance are changing how they name their shoes. So the new race shoe is now called the Super Comp Elite version 3, and it's the new version of the RC Elite version 2.
And look, how is it? Is it similar? It's sort of made up more like the SC trainer, isn't it?
The rock is further back. It feels the foam feels a lot softer. It's probably the first shoe I've put on that's encouraging me to be more of a rear foot striker because it feels so good rolling across this sort of rocker. Everyone who's put it on is like, this feels more natural to land on my rear foot. So it's an interesting one. I think it's going to be a very good shoe for the majority of people that come in. It feels poppier. Like the foam feels a little better. The shape of the plate's a bit more aggressive. But the main difference is the rockers further back. That's the feel. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's my cat. Sorry.
Cat. Get out of here, cat.
Cats are good, mate. Yeah. What have you been wearing, Jolly? Because you're the one getting all the new shoes. I will briefly mention I wore the Mizuno yesterday for a 40-minute tempo on the treadmill, and it just as Brady has subtly mentioned, it gets better as the pace goes up. But that was
a treadmill. I'm not sure that's a treadmill shoe.
Nah, it's definitely not. But it got better as the pace got up for sure. I felt like I needed to hit a hard surface with that shoe.
Yeah,
that's a long session to be using first up. Nah.
It was slow early, and it was raining, mate.
Well, it's your tempo. It's going to be slow.
It was our jogging pace.
I've been running in this a lot, actually, because the weather's been so poor. All our trails are shitty, so trail shoes are becoming more important. So this thing here is called the Nike ZoomX Zagama Trail. It is Nike's first ZoomX trail shoe. It is not the Ultra Fly that everyone keeps asking about, which is their racing trail shoe, which we may see back end next year, maybe. We don't know yet, but hopefully we do. This is the runner-friendly jogging version. So ZoomX midsole, but definitely doesn't feel like an Invincible. Feels much firmer than that. It's really quite stable to me. Like it's got a broad profile, so quite a bit through the rear foot to land on, quite a bit under the forefoot as well, which slightly to its detriment because I feel this outside lug a little under my foot. The upper is probably the best bit for me. It's not a trail shoe with one of those massive hard toe caps. It's actually really soft up front, so I can wear it and not feel like my toes are going to fall off.
What's the width of it? Is it quite narrow or being Nike?
No, it's medium. It's medium because I get in with no problems whatsoever. And some shoes are too narrow for me. Grip wise, horrible on wet wet road. Like asphalt's awful. Wet. I went around a timber boardwalk when it was wet. Oh yeah, I'm sliding everywhere there. But on the dirt and the wet mud, it's been brilliant. So it's not overly lugged, so you can get on a dirt road and still feel like it's got a bit of pop. There is a slight rocker in the shoe that makes it feel fun on a dirt road. It's got this little sock, which I don't love at the top, but it doesn't bother me in any way. It's actually been a really fun shoe. And it's probably my favorite trail shoe because the Mont Blanc from Ultra, just the heel fit's not good enough right now. So this is 37 mil in the heel. 33 at the front. So it's 4 mil, 290 grams for a men's 9. So it's not a light shoe, but it's a trail shoe. So it's got blown rubber, all that stuff.
Surely, Tom, you'd be using that in Royal Park, mate?
Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. I'd be keen to try that one out, actually. It's like you go long in it, no problem, probably.
Send us your credit card details, mate, and I'll get you a pair.
You get a size 13?
I got a size 13. I got we'll talk later. What else have I been wearing? I've been wearing the a lot Saucony Triumph, which we've talked about, like fun shoe, and I've been running workouts in the Mizuno shoe, as well as the Saucony Endorphin Pro, which I put back on this morning and forgot how much I love that shoe. That's still up there with one of my favorites.
What are the originals?
No, the V3.
Oh, V3. Yep.
Yeah. Still just V3. Like,
yep.
It feels natural. It's not overly rocketed. It's not like super spongy. It just feels really smooth under my foot.
A month or two ago, you said you would probably prefer that over any other racing shoes. Is that still the case?
I think it is after this morning. And a lot, like I get sore calves from that shoe, and I don't get sore calves from this new Mizuno shoe, but that's not a good thing for me, because I reckon I get some knee complaint when my calves aren't getting sore after a workout. Yeah, and it's almost night and day. Like, I put that Saucony on this morning, ran a workout, last 2 minutes of the last rep, my knee feels fine. Whereas normally the last 2 minutes of the workouts I've been doing in other like high stack shoes or more rocketed stuff is probably irritating my knee a little.
Interesting.
Look, I'm at the store. I thought it might be interesting just to show the store on the YouTube.
I've already seen the Ballarat store. I've never seen the Geelong store.
Yeah, well, let me just see
who's working. Who's working today?
We got Bree on today. We got Jazz. We got Josh, and we got Dan's learning. So we got Theo. He's in a crate next to me. Theo, wait. This is what an actual pet animal looks like. We're in my office, so we're going to come out. I'm going to show you around. A lot of boxes. We've got a little storeroom for some Hoka stuff here. Storeroom in here.
How's that Hoka Bondi 8 selling? Pretty well?
It's pretty good, yeah. It's just a little bit bigger than it has been. So
have you had many people...
it's going.
Oh, that's good. Have you had many people not get on with the new Bondi versus the 7?
Not really. Mainly they've just been picking other shoes instead of it because it's just bulkier, it's shallower. So this is what a stockroom looks like, filled with boxes and stuff that's going back to brands that's coming in. So when you sort of come around, this is what creates stress in my life. All of these, like...
It's a lot bigger stockroom than the one I used to work in, that's for sure.
What, at Nike?
No. When I was at Running Science in Sydney.
Yeah.
Nike, we had like those automated tubes. And there were like people working up in we'd type.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Put it in the chute, and it'd be like this little motorized thing that goes down to our level.
Yeah, like a food waiter, pulling it up.
Yeah.
Was that John
cool.
Landy?
Yeah.
Was that John Landy back there?
John Landy.
Yeah, nice.
Funnily enough, we had John Landy's son come in.
Oh, nice.
Just after he passed away, actually, and he and so I took this out and I offered it to him, but he decided. Oh no, it wasn't John Landy's son. It was John Landy's son's best friend, and he was just off to go to New York to see John Landy's son. And he took a photo, and while he was in here, he sent it to John's son, and John, and he was like, "That's really cool." He remembers that exact photo that the painting was of.
Well, that's full Geelong, isn't it? He's probably the most famous runner that's out of Geelong. Maybe Troop.
Well, he
second.
went to Geelong Grammar.
Okay. Yep.
So Craig Mottram went to Geelong Grammar as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Got it.
And Geelong Grammar gets a lot of Melbourne people. But I'm not sure. Homegrown Geelong. I don't think John Landy was homegrown Geelong, was he?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I think he was Melbourne based.
Got it.
And then went to Grammar.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's
cool. How often are you in the store now? Are you in the store almost
5 days?
You are? Yep.
Tuesday to Saturday, and occasionally do like clinic visits.
Got it.
Also, what else have we been? Go to events on Sunday morning occasionally, or Saturday morning down at Little Athletics. But I thought I'd show you this. This is pretty cool. So, local podiatrist down here, Gus McSween. He, twin brother with Stewie. So
beautiful. The yellow dragon. Yellow dragonfly.
Yellow dragon with signed by Stewie McSween. Pretty cool. Mate, we're at the World Champs.
You put that in a glass case, mate.
I think I might wear it, actually. That's about my size. For anyone playing at home wondering, size-wise, where's Stewie's size at?
It looks about 11 or 12.
He's ripped it out. Doesn't want
he has ripped it out. There is no size in there.
Oh, boy.
I can see where it's ripped off, yeah.
That's fine.
That's funny.
Can't know all his secrets, can you? So what do you got coming up, Julian? What are you training for? Like, you've got all these shoes going. Are you going to put spikes on this summer at all, or?
I'm going to do a 10K in January. You might come over for that.
Yeah, we've got a group. I'm looking forward to that. Is that going to be at Deakin or going to be at John Landy?
John Landy Field, yeah.
Yep.
Because we got Geelong Athletics helping us out with the timing and everything.
Brilliant. That's awesome.
So it'll be good. We'll do like some seated racing.
Maybe Tom might be fit by then.
I was thinking that. It'd be nice to beat Tom again.
Should we make this the head-to-head?
Yeah, except you might not get in the race that we're in, Tom. So you might be in like the D race and we're in the B race.
All right, here we go.
Especially if I'm picking the people in the races.
Yeah, that's definitely rigged.
Yeah. Oh, good. So that's probably the next big one, the local event.
I'm doing Run Geelong. I do Run Geelong 2 weeks. So I'm actually, you boys are going to help me. I'm going away on Saturday for 1 week to Margaret River. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be doing 2 workouts while I'm there, a fast workout, a threshold. And then I don't need to do a long run while I'm there, but I need to run every day easy as well. So I got 2 workouts and I got 5 easy runs, or 4.
How many shoes you taking?
Well, 1.
1. Oh. Ooh. You got to jog every day. You got to do a workout that's got to be threshold, you said, or fast?
1 threshold, 1 fast.
Oh.
Say I'm going to do 400s on a dirt path, and I'm going to do a 30-minute threshold.
But you're jogging every other day, so that's probably more important to get that right, I reckon. The sessions don't really matter when you're only doing 2 of them. So
I think the jogging will be on trails too.
Yeah, okay. Oh,
just take 2 pairs of shoes.
Yeah, that's
too stressful. That's too difficult.
That's very stressful, mate. I'd take a pair of Invincibles and like an RC Elite or an equivalent, like a. To be honest, if you're going to jog and you're loving it at the moment, just take your Endorphin Pro 3
and just jogging it too.
Jogging
Endorphin
as well.
Pro 3, you'd get away with. You know, the Endorphin Pro 3 is probably more stable to jog in than the Speed.
I reckon it is. Yeah.
So,
I agree with you as well. Except that stiffness can be a little unforgiving, a little harsh. But yeah, I actually considered that this morning. I'm like,
can you run fast in the Super Comp trainer? It's a bit clumsy.
Oh,
not 400s.
No, I don't like. Nah, that's a no.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I've been running in, and I was tempted just to bring one shoe up here. The
Essex Trail.
I brought it back from the dead, and I love it.
Some Puma thing.
The Hoka Rocket X.
Oh, yeah.
I love that shoe. I don't know why it's not any more popular. I mean, it's not. It's EVA, so you know, it's not like and we know from that super shoe study, it's
got to come with a warning label, mate. It's 1 mil heel pitch. You need to put a heel pitch in it.
But it just feels like a really fun, fast training shoe. I can long run in it. I could session in it. I could easy run in it. I could do anything in that shoe.
About 3 weeks ago, I did a workout. We had a similar, Julian. We had a threshold workout. It was I think 4 by 8 minutes off a 2 jog. And then 3 days later, we had quarter repeats on the track. And then I did a long run, all in the same shoe for those 3 workouts. And I wore the Ultra Vanish Tempo with a 9 mil heel pitch. It worked well. It was stable. The foam's good for jogging slow. It's forgiving enough. And it was, I could run fast in it and I could tempo in it. That was just a real sweet spot shoe for me.
It's a good answer, that one. It's untested for me, so I'm not going to take a shoe untested away, but that could definitely work.
I reckon the nitrogen infused foams are ones you can jog in quite comfortably, and you can run fast in them, which is why the RC Elite 2 doesn't feel like it's like a super racing shoe compared to what's out there. But I could jog in that shoe comfortably if I wanted to. Seems
like it responds differently to loads, doesn't it? Like the the nitrogen foams. Like it feels firm when you're standing and there's not a lot of load. And as soon as you run, it's like, oh, this shoe gets softer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the case. Like I tried a Skechers ages ago that was similar to that, but it was just less stable. Yeah.
So, but question from me to the podiatrist on the main show, we talked about numbness in there was a listener question from Krishna Stanton, actually. So high profile question. She said her foot went numb in I think it was the Vaporfly or her shoe.
I reckon she wore an Asics. I reckon she wore the Sky too, didn't she?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, sorry. So it was a carbon plated race shoe, and her foot went numb at the 15K mark. And she said, does anyone else felt this? Is there a reason why it's happening? And I know I've felt that before, absolutely, with race shoes. I had the worst experience with the Asics Sky 1 down at Hobart. Foot went dead early, 5K, and didn't come back to me until about 20K. And then the Zoom Fly 1 from Nike, I definitely felt my foot numb in that shoe. And then we talked about how Andy mentioned that his foot went numb in the Invincible.
Different.
And we had a listener sort of tell us that it was for a certain reason. I'm going to have to pull that up, that reason. So the listener Derek wrote, burning sensation in the Invincible is due to medial collapse at the level of the first metatarsal joint. I had it with Invincible 1, and a stiffer inner sole solves it completely. Which I don't actually think that's the reason, because there's a lot of soft shoes where that can happen that I don't get numb feet. And the guy was actually, So what do you guys think? Firstly, of that, the answer to that question, and then also what are your thoughts on it all?
Look, do you want me to go first, Tom, or?
Yeah, mate, go for it.
Yeah. Look, in relation to the Invincible, I remember when I first got the Invincible, it was super soft, and that I think I can understand what that Patreon's trying to say. If someone has like a plantar flex first ray, which means their big toe joint sort of sits lower than their second, third, and fourth, it's more prominent when you're standing on the ground. And I found that area would sort of heat up in the early onset until I wore the shoe long enough. It created a natural cavity in the foam and the insole complex, and then eventually it went away. I still get that if my duration of wearing the Invincible goes past an hour, which is interesting.
So you feel burning or numb?
Burning, not numb. So I think we need to try and demarcate those two as being different things, and they often are, and they could be different causes. But that sort of pre-blister feeling, you mentioned the Zoom Fly 1 on the main show, and you were getting this sort of heating sensation in the forefoot. I remember getting that when I first put that on. I ran a 10K race pretty much straight out the box in it. And underneath my fourth and fifth metatarsals, or under the balls of my outside of my foot, I entered into the ground right in that area. It was very stiff superficially to the foot, and you'd get just a little bit of slide or a little bit of shear under the forefoot. And you could almost feel like you're preceding a blister. I don't think I got one in the end. I reckon if I went for another 10 minutes, I might have got one. And a few other factors might speed that process up, like moisture and heat. But as soon as you get more shear of the superficial part of the skin called the epidermis, that shearing stress is sort of almost a bit of a precursor to developing a blister if the skin can't resist the stress. So we call that shearing stress. That's usually a bit more localized. And whether Christiana was feeling that with the Sky 2s because the plate's so superficial, maybe there's a bit more superficial slide or shear at the plate. It potentially could be a reason for getting the blistering sensation. And look, the other reason you did mention is sometimes people can get like a whole dead foot, but that's more to do with the sizing of the shoe from side to side, compression of the walls of the shoe to the foot, and squashing anatomy of the foot. But I still find that when you're running in a shoe environment where the shoe environment or the sock liner may move or your skin may move, as soon as your skin may move and the anatomy beneath it, being the skeletal muscle or the soft tissues beneath it, don't line up too well, you start getting a bit of abnormal shearing stress. And I think that's a preceding for a blister, which usually comes with heat leading into that.
Yep. Agree, disagree, Tom?
I pretty much agree. I'd love to not. I think you're right. Like you sort of probably need to separate burning and especially local burning sensation versus a whole foot or whole like general toe numbing sensation. Generally the burning sensation that's more focal is a superficial problem. So like, that shear stress you were talking about. Whereas if it's more of like a whole pad forefoot, more numb, it's probably neural. It's more deeper structures, like the neural structures beneath the epidermis. So that's either fit, or I do think like your experience in the Sky, and I think I almost experienced it in my first session in the Sky Plus, was the superficial plate, but maybe also in combination with a lower drop and a stiffer sole. So your toes aren't bending, and it's just a bit possibly firmer. Or if it's lower drop, you're spending longer on the forefoot. So it's just that
it might even be more like local tissue contact with the shoe. Like it doesn't not contact that area. Even when you toe off, for example, the plate maybe still be putting slight pressure on that particular area, just because it's contacting it as well. You could get like a local ischemic effect as well, more than likely, if that shoe doesn't comply in those areas.
So I guess the first thing, the easy wins would be the fit. Like you just have to reevaluate whether it's a fit issue, and then if you've ticked that box, then you're looking at features that might either be, like Derek said, if it potentially create hot spots and burning sensations with instability of the shoe, and if it's not instability, I think it's something to do with I think the plates do play a role, whether it's too stiff for the foot or not. So he said stiffening up the shoe helped with him, but I think a stiff shoe can actually cause the problem. Sometimes.
Maybe. I mean, it could be the pole ends. The Invincible is really soft in that area. It complies a lot. When you get a shearing stress, it's either, you've got this, the force applied to an area, and the force can be really, really high to a small area, or it can be a bit lower for a longer duration over a larger area. And I think you can still develop a heat sensation either of those ways, which means a shoe that's too soft could probably cause it, and a shoe that's really stiff, which means you can probably cause a high friction in a short time frame, might be a risk factor as well.
All right.
Yep.
Well, Nido, what's on? What do you got coming up?
State 5K comes up in a couple of weeks' time. I'll put the Air Vix back on and run that, and I'll see what time you run in the Victorian ones, Julian.
Oh, I'm not doing it, but I'm not doing it. I think I would still beat you.
I think you might actually.
You guys got to a Feb. You can train up and come down to Sydney for our State 5.
I see they're running that in the SOPAC warm-up track. They're not running at ES Marks. Surprised.
Yeah.
With the state of running in New South Wales, we might be 1 and 2 up there, Nita.
Well, I'll tell you what. If anyone
you'll get beaten by a 15-year-old probably.
Yeah, look, they're all from Canberra though, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
That was one of the most impressive races I've seen at an event like that. It was good, so good to watch. No, other than that, just work, life, no holidays for me, Tom.
No, mate, you're having a 3-day work week next year, so that's a year-long holiday, or however long that goes.
That's the plan, mate. That's the plan. That's the dream. Yep. What about you, Julian? You got your learning about shoes.
I'm going to Margaret River. Yeah, going to Margaret River next week, so that'll be fun.
Oh, you've got a holiday. Jeez.
Yes. Yeah. Thinking about I might take the endorphin speed. No one mentioned that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was going to mention it. No, I don't know. I was going to mention it, but then I thought that's not that important, your workouts. So, and your workouts aren't super good anyway. So at the moment, they're all long and slow. They're all 3:30 pace at the moment. You can do that in a super comp.
3:30 overall. But you got to look into my workouts deeper, Nita.
Oh, you yo-yo, 3:20 to 3:40. That's your ceiling of range at the moment.
Maybe you should revive a Nick Earl session, barefoot grass.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. My knees will be all right after that.
Your knees will be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Does he still run? Is he still relevant? I don't think
so. All right, we better get going.
All right.
Say to this beautiful cat. All right, bye-bye.
See you, Murray.
Yeah.
See you guys.
See ya.
All right.